Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back for the brand new video. Oh, it's just like Wednesday, isn't it? Yes, what a performance, dominating, never panicked, never once did I crap myself during that game, and it was completely stress free. People loved every single second of that game. I certainly didn't spend the last 6.5 minutes of that game with cheeks so tightly pressed together I could have picked up and probably folded a 50 pence coin, people. No, that's no how I spent that game at all, people. It was just wonderful to actually watch as Rangers went ahead and won 2-1. Now, as you maybe have caught just there, people, there was a slight lace of sarcasm within that intro because that wasn't a beautiful game. It wasn't the game that maybe many of us were expecting going in after what was a truly incredible performance versus Hearts, because it was nearly the exact opposite in large majorities in terms of a complete 90 performance. That was about a 45 minutes performance if we're actually lucky, and where we spent the last 3.5 days smiles on the face, celebrating and talking to everyone we can talk to about that Wednesday performance. This performance right here, we are going to scrumple up like this, people, throw it in a drawer, forget about it for 5 years, then when we're looking for something else, we're going to open the drawer, look and say, I remember Barisic's deflected free kick winner versus Ross County. That's the way it's going to be, people. But we're going to talk about the good, the bad and the ugly from this game of football, and I will discuss some of the things that annoyed me. But again, at the same time, we won the game, people, so I'm happy at that. I'm not going to be full doom and gloom. It was a roll up the sleeves type of performance, and hell, it was ugly. People, genuinely, Cinderella sisters are jealous about how ugly that was. But at the same time, we got the actual job done, so it wasn't as bad, and we didn't get punished maybe as much as we could have for how much we took the ball off in the second half. And for me, the wrong substitution at the wrong time and poor game management. We probably got away with one this afternoon if we're being brutally honest, and that's despite the fact that we had a very bright 45 minutes, but we can't take that for granted, especially into that second half. So it's a learning lesson this evening, ladies and gentlemen, but again, we aren't the finished article, we're not the complete project, and there will be little stutters like this, and if we're going to stutter and play as badly as that but still pick up 3 points, that's fine with me, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and discuss Rangers 2, Ross County 1. Wish us luck. And I think I'm going to start with my biggest problem and my most glaring problem, because it's going to be laced throughout the entire video, and that's the goalkeeping issue, ladies and gentlemen, because for me it reared its ugly head once again. A lot of things that should have been easily dealt with wasn't easily dealt with, and I've sat here and said for a long time now on the channel, I do not like this chopping and changing goalkeepers, especially if we've got a league goalie. Just keep him in there, because it's not just about swapping the goalie. I think it makes the defence think about something different because they're different players completely, so it's changing things. I don't think they were as comfortable dealing with balls knowing that McLaughlin's actually coming out, rather than knowing they need to go ahead and get it because McGregor's not coming. So I hate the changing the goalie malarkey. I hope to God we actually stop it, and it's quite interesting to think maybe on like an overline for this entire game, or maybe I should say a quick little summary of the game if you want. It's quite interesting to think about. Our January signings played their part in winning us this game, especially Todd Cantwell, who had his hand in helping us make sure we get all these points. So that was good for the January transfer business. But on the flip side of that, the lack of transfer business and another key area that we do need to improve, the goalkeeping position, nearly cost us the actual game. And that's how I sort of feel about this, people. The goalie situation is stinking right now, and it nearly cost us once again. Thank God for big Connor Goldson, by the way. Spoiler alert for later on in the video. 92nd minute, big boy header bailing out John McLaughlin. That's why he's CB number 1, and that's why he's pretty much your best goalkeeper, hands included. But of course it isn't all doom and gloom, especially after the first 45 minutes, because I think we were all in the same boat. This is good. There's some sparkle, there's some delight, there's some really good football being played, and again, for me, it's the 3 pillars, if you want, of this attacking Rangers team. Ryan Kent, Malik Tillman and Todd Cantwell. You can see the understanding, you can see them improving, and you can see the headaches they are going to be causing teams the longer the 3 of them play together. Now, unfortunately, Tillman didn't actually start this game. He came on for the injury to John Lundstrom. It looked like an ankle injury after he did make a mistake early on in the game, if we were naturally drifting in, as he tried a kind of backwards blind pass, the same pass that gave Celtic a goal, the same pass that played, was it Kilmarnock in not too long ago and that as well. We need to stop doing this blind reverse pass of foot looking across the park. It's brutal, people, as we ended up getting away with it thanks to good defending from both Tavernier and Ben, the silent assassin, Davies. And that was kind of Lundstrom's last impact in the game as he came off the park, and we'll update you in the comment section when we get an update regarding Lunny. But that allowed more attacking players to come on as Tillman came on, and he just took the game over again. And I know you'll probably be getting sick to death of me saying all the stuff and praising this laddie, but I'm not going to say sorry, people, because the fact that I'm sitting here praising Malik Tillman every single video is again vindication of how good this young laddie actually is, because once again he is the difference in an ugly game of football of Rangers this season, from 0 points or 1 point and making it all free. For Park, he'd done it at McDermott Park, he'd done it versus PSV. There's the lines there if you actually want to look at it, people. He's been the difference maker, and I thought the 20-year-old was once again absolutely outstanding. So there is some positivity sprinkled in, but aye, they made us work for it. But as we've kind of naturally drifted into the game recap, we talked about the early chance for Ross County as Lundstrom made a poor mistake, but it was well defended. But we responded as Malik Tillman within 60 seconds makes a brilliant run in behind Jacko. Great through ball, goes down the left hand side. Tillman kind of jukes inside, fakes the shot, tries to get it in. It rebounds back outside the box to Todd Cantwell, who meets it perfectly. Curl shot, but of course it hits the bar, because you can't watch a game of football this season without a bar or a goal line clearance. It's just there. It's fun, isn't it? I'm loving it. But the noise that ball made rattling the bar was well and truly the call to arms for this Rangers team to actually turn up, because from that exact moment that Malik Tillman jogged onto the park, cool, calm and composed, Rangers started to create numerous opportunities. First one, Goldie long ball. It's beautiful, out to Sakala. It's nearly a carbon copy of one of the goals. In fact, two of the goals, even though one of them was chopped off for offside that we scored versus Hearts. Sakala does brilliantly to bring it down. He tries to find Morelos at the back post, but to be fair, sometimes you need to just hold your hand up and say it's very good defending for the Ross County skipper, as he makes sure he stops the ball for Font Alfredo Morelos, and it stops it for being 1-0. But I guess it's been about, 27 seconds since we mentioned Malik Tillman. Well, let's go ahead and mention him again, because he gets the ball from Ryan Kent. It just slows the game down, and it just kind of fakes it, which makes the defender step back, and then it just hits a beautiful through ball in to the box for Tavernier, who should do a hell of a lot better from that range, but ends up ballooning it over the bar. The boy's been on the park 8 minutes, and he's created two clear-cut opportunities for the team. He's an absolute phenomenon, this young laddie, and I genuinely mean that. Just look at his stats, look at his impact. We've never had anybody like that in the midfield. 5 million's never looked so little, in my personal opinion. And again, we continue to build up, we continue to have some nice football. Cantwell, or Toddwell as I accidentally called him once, and Tillman making things happen. But then Barisic really started to emerge in the game and start hitting in delicious cross after delicious cross. The first one, I think Morelos actually does pretty well here to battle the defender. Or maybe he did. People probably did. It's Alfredo Morelos after all. But he ends up hitting it just wide. That yin was unlucky. The yin 5 minutes later though is just an absolute sitter. Cross right onto his noggin. He has to do better, but he doesn't do enough. But that didn't deter Barisic from there. No, 5 minutes after that, that's two already. Bang, bang, bang. He fires in another ball, this time for Tillman at the back post. Header, he just tries to touch it on, and it rolls just a whisker wide. I know you're sitting 35, 38 minutes into the game thinking, how are we no 1-0 up? And by God, are they playing 10 at the back? Yes. Yes, they were. Then the 39th minute happened, people, and it was very strange as Barisic actually goes down from a poor challenge, in my opinion, but the referee just completely ignored. I don't know why, but anyway, plays on. Even though the Ross County players all stopped, they're like, well, I've just nailed Barisic there. Oh, he's not giving a foul? Oh, I'm going to try and play on then. And to be fair, Todd Cantwell shows the industry side of the game, what we talked about on the channel when we signed laddie. He's got this in him. He makes a sharp sprint all the way back. Hits a beautiful slide challenge just to nip in the ball. He gives it to Tillman, and Tillman, box to box, picks the ball up. The lazy player, if you will, runs and drives Rangers from one box to the other, slips Alfredo Morelos in down the left-hand side. He can hit it. He's got to hit it. It's Alfredo Morelos, but the one time Alfredo Morelos actually passes the ball is the one time no one's actually there to tap it in, where again, some good defending for Ross County. After that, I'll be honest with you, I thought to myself, this is a 0-0 writ all over it at half time. It's the game that I thought we were going to get at Tynecastle. And it was funny, I was speaking to my father and everything like that, and I was like, Wednesday I thought it would maybe finish 2-1 to Rangers. Of course, we never made a preview video, and it finished 3-0, gone on 4, 5, 6, 7. This game, I predicted a 3 or 4-0, and it's ended up being the channel favourite. So that just shows you the luck, people. We just got the days swapped over, but as we edged closer and closer to half time, there was still pressure in the game, and Jacko has to get a wee bit of respect here, because every outball Ross County tried today, he was there nipping it, winning it back and keeping them pinned in. So you could feel it building, Cantwell started to get more involved. Again, Tillman's just Malik Tillman, and you thought, right, are we going to get that other opportunity to score just before half time? And we do, thankfully, people, and it's Cantwell who gets on the ball after some nice work from Ryan Kent and Tillman combining. They pass it out to Todd Cantwell. He kind of sizes his man up, and Morelos does very well here to back into the defender. It's a lovely kind of 1-2, but full credit to Cantwell, by the way, because the defender kicks a leg at him. I don't think it's a penalty, but it's one of those ones where he doesn't make contact, but it's one of those ones that if you aren't got like more balance in the force than Anakin Skywalker, you're probably falling there and you're looking like Bambi, but somehow he keeps his feet on the deck. And then not only does he manage to regain his composure, get on the ball inside the box with 785 defenders sliding at him, he then just nonchalantly lifts it into Malik Tillman, who's there with yet another big boy salmon header. Love you, big man. Thank you, Malik Tillman, for being the guy. And I continually say it, people, and I've continually said it throughout today's video. He's Malik, you know. Pay Bayern Munich the dough. What was great, people, is when we took the lead in the game, there was that sense of relief, but we really should have made it too. And this is the fine margins for grey hairs and luscious, long, turkey hairstyles like Kamal Roof wants to have, people, because 60 seconds after we make it 1-0, let's not go there, people, Barisic again drops it right on the money for the most blatant, most clear-cut header you will ever get in football, but somehow Morelos hits it over the bar. You see his reaction, look at the player's reaction. That's gilt edge, that's the game, that's the set, that's the match. But again, Morelos just isn't that finisher. But I'll be honest, I was actually quite encouraged by how we responded after scoring, despite there only being a couple of minutes. I thought, right, we're going to come out in the second half and really get that opportunity and put the ball away. And to be fair, the way we started the second half wasn't as bad as what it eventually became, because Ryan Kent was sharp again on the ball. He snaps in, wins an interception, hits a brilliant cross to the back post that Morelos actually gives up on. He should actually just get there. I don't think Morelos is expecting it. He's kind of caught flat-footed, but the defenders left it. He should actually make a better gamble at that and actually put the ball in the back of net, but he's slating at the back post. And then we end up making a substitution as Sakala gets booked for winning the football. He ends up coming off, and we bring on Glenn Kamara. Now, if you remember earlier in the video, we started off with two centre mids with Lundstrom and Jacko. Lundstrom got injured, we put Tillman on there. That's creating mismatches all over the park because how attacking it was. Well, we almost undone that change, if you want, by bringing Kamara back in to the middle of the park, and it just suited Ross County and actually gave them a focal point. And I think, again, as much credit as I give Michael Beale, and for me what he's done in this short spell is simply incredible. But just like the Scott Wright substitution versus Celtic and the James Sands substitution versus Celtic not too long ago, I think this substitution is one he'll look back on and say, by God, I got that in wrong. Because when I say this game changed like that, from Sakala's pace, keeping them honest there and keeping guys occupied, to that space allowing them to push just a little bit further forward, the game changed on its head, people. And Ross County started to offer a wee bit, for offering nothing, and I mean none. Davies and Goulton, Marshall, Jordan White completely out the game, especially Davies. I thought he was excellent getting in. I know he picked up a booking, but I didn't mind that. Just let them know you're in a game, son, and then be the silent assassin. I didn't mind that, to then just giving them that little bit more space and a little less threat to worry about. Just played to their hands. And aye, there's no surprise to me, or there's no shock to me that within a couple of minutes of that poor substitution, in my opinion, Ross County got back in to the game. But even in saying that, people, the way they done it is an absolutely infuriating. And I just think to ourselves, see if we had a competent goalie, right? And I'm not being disrespectful to McGregor or McLaughlin. I'm talking about well-rounded. He can do this, he can do that. Like the way teams should really have goalies. I know McGregor excels in one areas, poor in the other. McLaughlin excels in certain areas, poor in the other. Right? I get all that, but just an all-rounded goalie, I think, just goes blook, catches this, and we're not conceding this goal. But aye. They have a snapshot from Kamara and Jacko, just sort of too many cooks in the kitchen for Jacko doing everything to them two, just combining. Jacko ends up running into Kamara that gives the ball. It was almost like a comedy sketch. It ends up being a shot that does give a corner, and after a wee bit of short play from the corner, they whip it in. McLaughlin comes out and looks like Flappy Bird, man. Honestly, it looks like me trying to dive off the top rope. People, it was embarrassing. Jordan White has the easiest Jordan White header he'll ever have in his life. That's laddie's bread and butter, and we just gave it to him on a platter. He's there for yet another goal versus Rangers, and for being dead and buried in this game, to back in it and actually having a bit of a focal point, because Rangers again have started to simmer down rather than heat up as the game went on. And from that Kamara substitution, where again I'm not sitting here saying, oh, Kamara was terrible. I actually thought Kamara had good points in the game. It was just regarding shape, and that seemed to suit Ross County, if you know what I mean. Obviously I'm not sitting here saying, oh, Kamara was terrible, he ruined it. No, it's just the substitution and actually giving him a bit more space rather than the fit to the throat style that we actually had. From that moment to about the 70th minute, Ross County started to have real threat, but thankfully we were able to get on the ball. Our key players, the Cantwells, the Tillmans, the Kents, even the Barisics in this game, because I'll give him credit. I'm quick to criticise him, but I've got to hold my hands up when he plays well, and he was a key man in this game. We're able to get enough together, get a wee bit of control of the ball, and actually start dictating the tempo again. And we end up hitting the bar for the second time. Second time in the game. Keep it together, keep it together. Just keep it together, son. I know. With second time in the game, as Barisic does very well down the left-hand side. He picks out Ryan Kent just outside the box, and Kent, with a great strike, first time right, just curling it right away for the goalkeeper, and it hits the bar. I think it even hits Tavernier's foot and goes wide, and you think to yourself, oh no, I feel like I'm exercising a demon when I saw that, because that's the move that I actually done, people. But I felt like, oh no, here we go, we're hit the bar again. It's not even felt with Tavernier, it's bounced off them the wrong way. It's just no good. Sometimes it's just know your day. And Barisic, who now should and probably could have at least 3 assists, if that one we Kent was unlucky, but Morelos takes his couple sitters, we should be well and truly away right now. He's not getting his bit of luck that he really deserves. And then we win a free kick, people, 5 or so minutes later, after Goldson makes a run into the box and just gets clipped from outside it. Very good play for CB number 1, and up steps Barisic with the curler, and he curls it, and I'm sure it hits off Jordan White, who already scored in the game, and goes in the opposite corner. I know your boy Hadji was sitting there going, oh, I've seen this one before. Trying to hit one corner, it hits the wall and goes in the iron. Is it lucky? Aye, people, 100% it is. But again, does he deserve it? Aye, if you watch that game of football, if there was one person on that part that deserved a tiny slice of luck because of how they played, it was Barisic. So I guess what I'm saying is he meant it. People, alright, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Jordan White's on a hat-trick, if you want to look at it that way. That would have been worrying, but thankfully CB number 1 stops that from happening in the last minute. But before we wrap up and before we speak about a couple of other things and obviously speak about the last incidents in the game, we really should have wrapped up after I was going to say Cantwell again, although it kind of works. Ryan Kent, Todd Cantwell and Tillman again, just so liquid football. I mean, it's really nice play for Tillman and Morelos as well, by the way. They sort of combine really well. Cantwell then drops a shimmy. It falls to Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent plays Morelos in behind the defence. But the finish, man, is just so terrible. As he just hits it low, straight at the goal. He's got the entire goals to aim at, and he just hits it straight at the goalie. And it's frustrating because Morelos done so many good things. His link-up play was great. His power play in terms of holding defenders off, getting us up the park, being a 1-2 sort of player with a lot of our technical. All that was great. But this boy, man, it's shooting the ball. Somebody's cursed him because it's infuriating. Because unless he's 2 yards out, he's just not getting the Robbie the Green right now, despite the fact that I know he has scored 4 goals in his last 2 games. But look at the goals, if you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about finishing. How many chances does he actually get a game? It's poor film, and that really should have settled the game. But it isn't. That's no who Morelos is, people. And when you leave it at 2-1, you leave it to get nippy. But before I move on for Alfredo Morelos, by the way, I need to mention this, and I know yous are all sick to death of hearing me talk about referees, but Callahan, just a guy that comes in and just, you know what he is, people, right? He's a hammer thrower. He's always done it. He always comes in, nails it, and you know why. He comes into the game and he just tries to wipe out. It's a lunge into Tillman. Tillman does well enough to jump out the actual way, and you're thinking, well, it's going to be a yellow card because of the lunge. And for that, Callahan gets away with it, people, right? 15 seconds later, Morelos, not even as bad of a lunge, he's just actually trying to slide to block an actual pass. Again, Disney make contact. It's not as high, it's not as fast as the Callahan one. It wouldn't have been severe as the Callahan one, but the referee books Morelos for not touching the opposition, and that's back-to-back yellow cards now for Alfredo Morelos, where he's been booked without touching the opposition. And to rub salt in the wounds, Callahan, from the exact free kick of them as they try and play it actual quickly and then end up losing the ball, Cantwell's ripping the piss out of Callahan. So Callahan grabs him by the back of the shot, yanks him down and gives him a wee bit of the knee in the back as well. The referee gives the free kick, but still won't book the laddie. I just want to ask you people, what's the difference between Callahan's lunge, right, and Morelos' lunge, if you want to call it that, and then Callahan's pullback, horse collar, finishing move for WWE on Todd Cantwell that still wasn't warranting a yellow card. I just want to know. I know Morelos has done a lot of daft things in the past, but we're not supposed to judge people on their past reputations. The lad's done nothing wrong in terms of that side of the game, but he's been booked twice now. His last 2 bookings for not touching anybody, and no one's talking about it. And again, I'm not a massive Morelos fanboy that's banting this. No, I give him criticism a lot for his poor finishing and everything like that, but the standard and the consistent standard for the referees to this lad is an absolute joke. So I just wanted to voice my opinion. I just didn't like that. It just doesn't make me feel right, people. And neither did the rest of the game, because it started to peter away. We tried to make some substitutions. Raskin came into the game, and a wee shout out to him, by the way. He was a bright spark and an important one as well. His first action as a Rangers player was to just bully Jordan White out of the way and win the ball cleanly. Something large majority of the players couldn't do all afternoon. He was involved in a couple things, a couple nice runs, couple nice passes, trying to spring some counters, but it just wouldn't fall our way as Tillman tries to pick Cholak in with a couple runs that was well defended as well, with intercepting the pass. I'm not going to be critical of Tillman. He's trying to put the ball in the right area. Sometimes, again, it's just good defending. And speaking of good defending, no one will talk about this, people, but 91 minutes on the clock. There is a corner kick to Ross County in this game. McLaughlin comes out, flaps it again. But who stops? It's either Jordan White or the captain for Ross County. I'm pretty sure it is Jordan White, who is there about to score the exact same goal. Connor Goldson, our centre-back, gets up in between the 2 Ross County players and manages to flick it out for eventual throw-in that we end up defending well. But that moment right there is a game saver. That's as big as a goal. That's as big as a penalty save. That's your defender bailing your goal out and bailing this team out. So give a wee bit of respect to CB number 1, in my personal opinion. And we saw the rest of the game out. But also our game management. What are we doing? Like 92nd minute. Oh no, sorry, this was 89th minute. Sorry, this was actually before the corner. This is actually led to the corner. This is what I was meaning. We have the ball sort of near the area, like in terms of their box and the goal, the corner flag. Barisic is wanting to go in the corner flag just to see the game out. Bit of smart management. Scott Wright fakes it, cuts inside, and hits the softest shot I've ever seen. And for there, they end up winning a corner, nearly scoring the equalising goal. Let's get smarter, troops, you know what I mean? When it's the last couple minutes of the game, when it's no your day, let's get into that corner and do Joe Aribo hangs in there. But that's all I want to say. It was ugly. There was a deflected winner and everything like that. But again, there is going to be these types of games in a season, and we won the actual match. A match I didn't think we'd have won not too long ago, but we got over the actual line, and I'm sure we'll be rectifying a lot of those silly, needless mistakes. And again, hopefully we'll learn for the poor tactical substitution that I believe we actually made in the game. Didn't crucify me too much in the comment section. I'm sure you're already screaming at me, but that's my thoughts and opinions in the game. Man of the match, I think Todd Cantwell got the official man of the match, and he was good. Agree with that. I can understand why. But for me, I'd go either Tillman or Barisic. Probably leaning towards Barisic because not only did he get the winner, he should have had 3 assists. But again, you look at Tillman. Maybe I'm blinded now, but I just look at a laddie with so much quality and so much promise. So Tillman, Barisic, Cantwell, for me, the 3 best players on the actual park. What about you? Let me know down in the comment section below. And what did you think of this ugly game? Did you like it? Did it make you stressed? Are you happy that we got 3 points? Yes. Are you going to sleep well tonight thinking of Connor Golden header? Yes, people, I am. But that's me all finished. I'll see you in the very next video. Take care of yourselves, everyone. All the best and bye-bye.